There is a pale, chalky powder sitting on a hardware store shelf right now. In some stores, on a chemistry supplier's website, priced at under $1 per use, that will permanently erase the scratch running across your car's paint or glass. And the $61 billion auto body repair industry has spent decades making sure the word cerium oxide never crossed your mind. This is not a folk remedy. It is not a garage myth. It is an industrial-grade abrasive compound with documented use by NASA, by optical lens manufacturers, by the glassmakers who build the windshields these same body shops charge you to replace. And it works on paint. Your car is sitting in a driveway right now with a scratch that an industry told you would cost $200 to fix. A scratch that a $1 application of white powder, a microfiber cloth, and 12 minutes of your time will erase completely. Today, you are going to find out exactly how that works, why you have never heard of it, and who profits every single year that you don't. I want to start with where cerium oxide actually comes from, because once you understand what this compound is at a chemical level, the suppression of it will make you genuinely angry. Cerium is a rare earth element, element 58 on the periodic table. It is one of the most abundant rare earth metals on the planet, more common in the Earth's crust than copper. When it is oxidized into cerium dioxide, it becomes one of the most effective microabrasives ever documented. The optical industry figured this out in the 1940s. By 1945, cerium oxide had replaced rouge as the standard polishing compound for precision glass, telescope lenses, camera optics, scientific instruments. The abrasive particle sits at a hardness of approximately 6 on the Mohs scale. That matters because glass sits at 5.5. Car clear coat sits between 2 and 4. Cerium oxide is hard enough to cut through surface imperfections. It is soft enough to stop before it damages the substrate beneath. That is not luck. That is physics. And the physics does not care what the body shop charges per hour. By the 1960s, the automotive glass manufacturers knew this. Pilkington Glass, the British company that supplies windshields to nearly every major automaker on the planet, had cerium oxide integrated into their production polishing line. The technicians building your car's windshield used a variant of this compound to achieve optical clarity before it was ever installed. Then the same car rolls off the lot. You scratch the windshield, and somehow, at no point in that transaction, does anyone mention the compound that the factory itself used 6 weeks earlier. The body shop quotes you $340 to replace a windshield that has a hairline scratch in the corner. The glass repair specialist quotes $180 to attempt to fix. Nobody quotes you $1.20. I need you to understand the financial architecture here, because it is not accidental. The auto body repair sector in the United States generated $61.4 billion in revenue in 2023. That number comes from the IBIS World Industry Report, and it is not driven by totaled vehicles. It is driven by what the industry calls cosmetic repair volume: scratches, scuffs, chips, minor paint damage. The work that requires no structural expertise. The work that is, in a significant share of cases, a polishing problem dressed up as a replacement job. The average scratch repair ticket at a body shop in the United States runs between $150 and $450, depending on depth and location. A single panel paint correction that takes a skilled technician 45 minutes is billed at 4 to 6 hours of labor. That is not a trade secret. Ask any detail technician who left a dealership and opened their own shop. They will tell you exactly how the billing works. And here is the part that should stay with you. The major auto manufacturers are not external to this system. They own stakes in certified repair networks. Ford has Ford certified collision centers. GM has GM certified service. Toyota has the certified collision repair program. These are not quality assurance programs. They are referral pipelines with margin attached. When your dealership recommends a body shop, money moves between entities that share ownership structures. The scratch on your door is not just a cosmetic inconvenience. It is a revenue event. Subscribe if you are watching this channel for the first time. We publish this kind of analysis every week: the systems, the suppression, and the solutions that cost almost nothing. Now let me show you what cerium oxide actually does to a scratch at the molecular level, because this is where the science becomes impossible to dismiss. A surface scratch in automotive paint or clear coat is, at a microscopic level, a valley. The material on either side of the scratch is intact. The valley itself is where light refracts unevenly, creating the visual contrast you see as a white or silver line. Cerium oxide particles, when suspended in water and applied with friction, act as a microabrasive that levels the walls of that valley. They do not fill the scratch. They remove the elevated shoulders of material on either side, gradually flattening the surface until the refraction becomes uniform again. When the surface is uniform, the scratch becomes invisible. This is the same mechanism used by professional paint correction specialists who charge $400 to $800 for a full vehicle detail. The compound they are using in that rotary polisher costs $14 a bottle. The technique is repeatable by anyone with a cloth and 15 minutes. The depth limitation is real, and I will address it honestly in a moment. But for the category of scratch that accounts for the majority of body shop cosmetic visits, the keyed panel, the shopping cart ding, the parking lot scuff, cerium oxide reaches it. Here is exactly how to do it. You will need cerium oxide powder, distilled water, a soft microfiber applicator pad, and a clean microfiber finishing cloth. The total cost for all 4 items, if you do not already own the cloths, is under $18. The cerium oxide itself, purchased in a 100-gram bag from any lapidary supplier or Amazon, runs between $8 and $12 and contains enough compound for 40 to 60 applications. That is a per-use cost of approximately 20 cents. Step 1. Clean the scratched area thoroughly with a mild soap and water. Any contamination, wax, road grime, silicone, will reduce the compound's contact with the surface. Pat it dry completely before applying anything. Step 2. Mix your cerium oxide with distilled water to form a paste. The consistency you want is slightly thicker than toothpaste. Do not use tap water. The mineral content in municipal water introduces particles that can cause additional micro-scratching. Step 3. Apply a small amount of paste to your applicator pad, roughly the size of a thumbnail. Work it into the scratched area using firm circular pressure. You are not wiping, you are polishing. The pressure should be consistent and the circles should overlap. Step 4. Work in sections of about 4 inches square. After 90 seconds of consistent polishing on a section, wipe the area clean with your finishing cloth and inspect. If the scratch is fading, continue. If you are seeing full correction, move to the adjacent section. Step 5. After completing the full scratched area, wipe the surface clean with a damp cloth, then dry. Apply a finishing wax or paint sealant to protect the corrected surface. The correction is permanent. The protection layer is what you are maintaining going forward. The entire process for a single door panel scratch takes 12 to 18 minutes. A full side of a vehicle, scratched from front to rear, takes under an hour. There are limits. If the scratch has cut through the clear coat into the base color layer, meaning you can feel a sharp edge with your fingernail and see a color change, not just a white haze, cerium oxide alone will not produce a complete repair. It will reduce the appearance significantly. Full elimination requires a paint fill step first. But here is what the body shop will not tell you. That scenario represents a minority of the cosmetic repair tickets they write. Most surface damage is clear coat level. A 2017 study from the University of Waterloo's Surface Science Department found that consumer-reported deep scratches in automotive paint were assessed as clear coat only damage in 68% of cases upon technical inspection. 68%, meaning the majority of people who are told they need a paint repair job do not need one. They need a polishing compound that costs $1 to use. Germany figured this out at a policy level. The German Automotive Detailing Association, the Bundesverband der Fahrzeugaufbereitung, formally added cerium oxide-based paint correction to their certified technician training curriculum in 2009. Their reasoning was consumer protection. German consumers have been trained, through that program, to ask for a polishing assessment before authorizing any repair work. American consumers have not been offered that conversation. A viewer who goes by the handle Roadside Mike left a comment on this channel 3 weeks ago. He wrote that he had a 2019 Silverado with a keying scratch running the full length of the driver's side. He had been quoted $780 by a GM-certified body shop. He used cerium oxide paste, 2 microfiber cloths, and 47 minutes on a Saturday morning. He said, and I am paraphrasing, that the scratch was gone, not reduced, gone, and that he had spent $11. That comment got 214 replies before we even responded to it, because it is not an isolated story. It is the same story, repeated by tens of thousands of people who found this compound through a detail forum, a Reddit thread, a word-of-mouth tip from a grandfather who used to restore cars. Cerium oxide's abrasive properties were first formally documented in industrial literature in 1943 in a publication from the Rare Earth Research Institute. It was adopted by optical polishing houses within a decade. By 1958, it was in use at Ford's internal surface finishing operations. That is 66 years ago. For 66 years, a product that cost pennies per use has been working in industrial and professional settings. And for 66 years, the consumer version of that knowledge has been systematically absent from every dealership conversation, every insurance adjuster's report, every service department recommendation. That absence has a dollar value. At an average scratch repair ticket of $250 across an estimated 12 million cosmetic repair visits per year in the United States, the addressable market for scratch repair that could be eliminated with cerium oxide runs to approximately $3 billion annually. That is the number someone is protecting. The advertising spend that flows from the auto insurance and auto repair sectors into Google, into television, into sponsored editorial content is not coincidental. The information environment around car maintenance has been shaped by the entities who profit from expensive solutions. And cheap solutions do not fund advertising campaigns. Cerium oxide has no marketing budget. It has no brand. It has no celebrity spokesperson. It is a white powder in a bag with a chemical name that most people cannot pronounce. And it works better than anything they are selling you. I want to be precise about one thing, because this channel does not deal in exaggeration. Cerium oxide is not magic. It is not invisible. The technique matters. Poor application pressure, wrong water ratio, skipping the wax step will produce a mediocre result. If you rush it, you will see improvement, but not elimination. The 12 to 18 minute time estimate I gave you is for someone doing it right. Not fast, right. And for deep base coat damage, you need a 2-step process, filler, then polisher, that adds time and a second inexpensive product. I covered that process in a separate video that is linked in the description. But for the standard, clear coat scratch that is sitting on your car right now, the one you've been avoiding getting a quote on, cerium oxide is the answer that costs $1 and takes 20 minutes. The body shop is not the answer. It is the industry's answer. And now you know the difference. If you have used cerium oxide on your vehicle, I want to hear about it. Drop the make, the year, and what the scratch looked like before and after in the comments. That information helps every person watching this video right now decide whether to try it. And if you know someone who has been quoted $300 for a scratch repair in the last 6 months, send them this video before they write that check. The information exists. It always has. Spreading it is the only thing the industry cannot buy its way out of.